What if you knew exactly what psychological buttons to push with any prospect before you even pick up the phone? What if you had a secret weapon that analyzes people's LinkedIn and all the information it can find on the internet and creates a complete sales playbook all automatically? Today, I'm showing you the Sales Psychology Decoder. It's an automation that automatically searches every information it can find about a prospect. You just put in a name uh, or someone books in a call through Calendly, and it automatically does the research and creates a complete playbook on the buying triggers they have, the decision patterns they have, and everything about the prospect that could make them say yes to whatever product you sell, to make selling products and selling your service so much easier. And this isn't just basic research, it's like in having an investigator that's working 24/7 for you and searching all the information you can find about certain prospects. So let's just jump right into it. So first of all, let me walk you through how this works. If we put in a name, for example, my name, what it does is first of all, it checks if this is actually a name, because sometimes what people do is they type in research name. They put other words before that or put other words in that message. So what this does is just filters out the exact name and checks if it's even a name. If not, it goes to false and nothing happens. And if there's a name in the message that you send, it goes to the research agent. The research agent uses Perplexity to search on Google, search the LinkedIn, and get all the information. This does all the research and gathers all the information. And once this agent has the information, it goes to the next one that actually creates the psychological profile. And what I've done here is that this is so powerful. What this does is you can customize it to actually give you customized lines that you could say based on what product you sell. For example, what I do is I sell an automation service. So I build automations for people and audit their business. And what I did was I personalize this to give me the exact lines that I could say to sell my service to the exact person that I'm selling to. Like, this is insane. This is so powerful. And after that's done, it just sends you an email with the entire report. And doing this through chat is one way of doing this. Another way that I found is doing Calendly triggers. So when someone books in a call, it automatically just sends you a report about that person. It doesn't even, like, you don't even have to do anything. You just go into your email and you have a full report on what you can say and how these people think. So this is insanely powerful. And let me walk you through how this works and how you can set this up. So first is what we do is we click on plus and we put in, if you have nothing here, you click on the plus in the middle, you add this trigger called on chat message. If you don't find it, you can just type it in here, like chat trigger, and do that. Then you don't have to configure anything here, you just leave it as it is. And if you want to do the Calendly trigger, what you do is you click on the plus again, search for Calendly, and click on event created. And what you have to do here is you have to put in your credentials. You can just type in Google how to connect this account, and connect this account and event created. Pretty simple stuff. This is the basic trigger that will trigger the automation. Very simple stuff. The next thing we'll do is we'll add a ChatGPT node, which we could just go to OpenAI or just go on OpenAI and message a model. What we have to then here is, first of all, you have to connect your OpenAI accounts, and you just you click on Google, you just type in OpenAI API, and you need to go on the site and create an API key and just paste it in here, and you're basically done. One thing I do want to say is for this automation, you probably need to buy some credits, because otherwise, like, this stuff costs a bit of money, and it's not completely for free, unfortunately. So you need some credits, but like, I loaded in $10 and I still, like, a month ago, and I still have them, and I use this a lot. So you just have to do you have just have to load in once $10 and you'll have it for a month or two. So that is pretty cool. And what we do is we choose a model. For this one, we can just choose ChatGPT 4 or latest. Doesn't really matter. Um, then next, the prompt. This one is important. So I've came up with this prompt. This is just pretty simple stuff, right? But what we have here is that this prompt just extracts the name that you put in the chat. So we use this one. This will be in the template provided, and if you want a template, you can just click down the link below and you'll get the template for free. And or you can type it off. Would take a long time, but yeah, you can just get it for free. But what we do here is we tell the AI that it should extract the prospect's name from the user message. So this is what we get. This is the chat input that we gave to the trigger, and we tell the AI basically take the input that we gave you, filter out the name that's in there, and then give it to the next node. That's basically it. And you click on toggle on simplify output, and that's basically it. Next thing, we add an if node. You type in on the plus, click type in if, and what we have here is we have the conditions we have is, first of all, we take the message and we go here, we click on, we have message and content. This is the name that the AI node filtered out for us. And the first condition we say is, does it actually exist? Does this node give us something? Does the message exist that we got from the model? And then we click on add condition and put this in here. This basically ensures that the message is actually has two words, because the problem is that if it's just one word, it actually isn't the full name, and we want the full name in order to do this research, right? So if it has something like just my first name, like Andre, it just won't do this, and will go to false, because we can't do the research if we just have one name, right? So this is just basic stuff in order to filter this out. And once you have this, we actually go to the main agent. This is where the magic happens, or the first part of the magic. What we have here is, first of all, how you add this is you click on this true path, and you click on the AI tab, and you click on AI agent. You'll get this, and this will look a bit different than what I had here, but I'll show you how to configure this. So the very first thing we'll do is we'll add a chat model, because our AI agent can think, and in order to think, we need to give it some AI model to actually do the work, right? So what I did is I just added a OpenAI chat model and put in my credentials here. If you have the credentials from before, you don't really have to do anything. And for the model, this is important. The first issues I had with this automation is that it gave me the message that the OpenAI rate limit is it's over the AI rate limit, and that's because I had the ChatGPT 4 model selected. But the problem with this is that it only has 10k token. The limit is 10,000 tokens, and this takes more than 10,000 tokens. It's 20k tokens, around something like that, maybe even only 10. But I had this problem a lot, that it just told me the OpenAI limit is exceeded. So I would take the 4.0 model, the normal 4.0 ChatGPT 4.0, because this has a 30,000 token rate limit, and this should work. The next thing we'll do is we'll add a memory, because this will make sure that it just actually remembers the last conversations we had. This isn't really that necessary. I like to add it because it makes my life a bit easier, because you can actually know what we discussed before and what it did before. And you don't have to configure anything here. You just add it and that's it. And the next one is tool, where we just add Perplexity here, so it can actually use Perplexity to do some research. And for the configuration, what you have to do is you have to go on Perplexity and search for your API key and paste it in here. Just paste it in here and you'll have the API key. You'll have it done. That's basically it. Then this should be set automatically, and operation should be message a model, because we have to message a model to do the research. And as the model, you can select Sonar Pro. You can even select deep research for even better results. And for the prompt, this doesn't have to be complicated. Find detailed information about prospect's name. So this gets our name, and including their LinkedIn profile, current job, company, and professional background. So this just does the basic research on the prospect and what they're actually about. For the role, you'll just select user. Pretty simple. You click it. This should be configured automatically, and what you'll do then is you'll leave it just as it is, and you're basically done with this. And now we have to do is we have to actually configure the prompt. So what we'll do in this node is we'll click on define below, because this will allow us to actually give the AI agent a custom prompt. And once you have selected this, we'll put in this prompt. The objective is enrich and find as much possible information about this person's name. Always find and scrape the LinkedIn if you can. The tools: Perplexity, find company and personal information, search the internet, search using Google to find their LinkedIn link, and LinkedIn by URL, scrape their LinkedIn page when given URL. Guidelines: be careful on the info you find and verify it is the correct person. You are relentless at finding LinkedIn URLs, because LinkedIn URLs are just such a goldmine for information, because people have to put their company information in there. Some people even put their whole story in there, and you can find so much, even their location. So LinkedIn's are gold mines for what we're trying to do. So your task is complete when you have generated a background for this individual. Be relentless in finding more info. Important: you are fully autonomous and do not stop for any reason until the task is complete. You never ever stop. This will just make sure that it actually does what we want it to do, and this is it. So the only variable here is you have to put this in, and how you do this is you just go into this node or this node, and you just drag this in. We just have to put in, you get the name, you see where is the name, you put into the chat, and you drag it in, and you're ready to go. So this is the research agent. This is so simple but so powerful. Next thing we need to do is the psychological profiler agent. So we'll do the same again. We'll add the AI agent, and we'll do the same define below, so we can actually do give it a prompt. Chat model, same thing. OpenAI. You can select another AI model if you want, but I like to use OpenAI just to keep it simple, and because I feel like the results are actually pretty solid. So same AI model, ChatGPT 4o, and that should be done. Memory, you can select simple memory again, and for the tools we'll leave that blank this time, because what this does is it just takes this information and it does, you already did the research, you just need to reason, and you need to think about what could be, based on the information we got from all the information we could find on LinkedIn, on Google, whatever. Now what we have to do is we have to analyze this information and create a full report on what their weaknesses are, what their personality is. Because searching for information isn't enough. we want to actually reason and think about what could we do to actually trigger their psychology and trigger them to want to buy our product. What could we do to trigger them to say yes? So we go in here. We this is really long. This took me a long time to develop this prompt. I know this looks like a lot, but I'll provide you the template and you can just download it and you'll be ready to go and you have this. And what we do here is we give it the research that we got from the research agent, and we tell it to actually, like, you're a world-class sales psychologist specializing in selling automation audit and implementation services. Your mission is to create an exhaustive tactical psychological sales profile that reveals every hidden buying trigger and decision pathway for selling automation consulting services to this prospect. What you have to do here is, I don't want you to just copy and paste this. What you should do is you should copy this and tell ChatGPT what your service is and tell it to adjust this prompt based on your service, because this is so powerful that this will change the entire game for you. What this will do is it will take the research and it'll do a complete analysis on the prospect and what you could say based on your service to actually convince them to buy it. For example, for my service, what it did is that it searched for automation opportunity blindness and what could I do. Like, if we go to the example in the end, I think it didn't actually give me the this should be it. So here it should give you these even sales scripts, like, based on the trends we're seeing, companies like yours have 12 to 25 hours per week lost to manual oversight, approvals, or reporting workflows. We typically uncover automation wins in less than 3 hours of your time. Worth a look. And it'll give you these simple lines that are just so golden. Like, I did this with a client I already closed. I did this after the call, but I was so shocked because when I looked at this report, it was so accurate. The client actually told me in the call that he's really data driven, that he cares a lot about climate change and wildfires and stuff like that. And the report just told me the exact thing that he told me in the call. Like, I was so mind blown because it just reflected the exact thing that the client told me on the call. He said to me, I'm really data driven. I look at the numbers, I look at the data, and I was like, it was extremely good. And if you use this in sales calls, this will be so powerful, because trust me, this is accurate and this can actually help you convert people. So I would love for you to actually use this. So yeah, otherwise you don't really have to do anything here. You just have to put in the prompt and make sure that this is in, and make sure that this actually works, that you go to the research agent, use this output, drag this in here. So you have the actual research in here, so it can actually do the analyzation and analyze the research. Otherwise, make sure that you have actually personalized this to you. This shouldn't take long, and yeah, this is pretty simple stuff. The last thing is, I'll blur out my email, but what we'll do then is, the last thing is we add a Gmail note. So and select send a message to actually send this to our email. What you have to do here is you have to connect to your Gmail account. In order to do that, what you have to do is you go on Cloud Console from Google. You can look up a guide on that, but the basic thing is you have to create a client, an OAuth client, and enable that in the library. If you have created your project and everything in Cloud in the console, right? You go on to APIs in the left bar, and you click on library. And what you have to do is you have to enable Gmail. This is the most important step. All the rest you can easily find on the internet, on Google, and how to set this up, right? How to get your client ID and client secret. But one thing the most important thing is you have to enable that Gmail is actually activated in the library, because only then it can actually use this. So after you did that, you just put in the email you wanted to send it to. You can send it to your own email. You can send it to another email, whatever you want. For the subject, what I did is I just have psychological profile report. What I had before is actually went in here, pulled this in here, so it gives you the name and the psychological profile report. So you actually know from who this report is about. So you can see this here, Andre psychological profile report. And you set this to text. I think for me this is like easily readable if you put it on text instead of HTML, because when you put it on HTML you have this big chunk of text that isn't formatted. You can do this with HTML if you change the prompt a bit, and this could actually be better, but for simple purposes just put it on text. And for the message, you just go to the psychological profile or agent, drag the output in here, and yeah, you should be ready to go. Pretty simple stuff. I hope you actually use this and this will be useful for you. If you have any questions or you have any issues with setting this up, just message me on X, and I'll help you out. And yeah, I hope you find this valuable, and see you on the next one. And if you'd like us to build the automations out for you, you can book a call in the description below. I'll be talking with you, and we'll do a complete audit on the opportunities you have in your business to implement key automations. We'll do an audit of the automations that would move the needle the most for you, and we'll actually build them out for you. And we can also include maintenance for you to make it all smooth. So if you're interested in that, just book a call in the description below, and see you then.